Today, I want to shed light on 5 dirty little secrets that PTO leaders really don't talk about. And I think that especially if you are new to PTO, PTA land, you might not know these things yet. And so I think it'll be super helpful to understand that you are not alone in whatever you're going through. Because I think sometimes when you're doing something new and you're not quite sure what is supposed to be going on, you kind of might be wondering, like, is anybody else feeling like this or having this situation? First thing is, you're usually not going to have enough volunteers for things. That has been my experience. It's especially now in the new era, post-pandemic, things are funky. Things are really funky. So I did not especially feel the pinch before. I'm feeling it now. The parents are just not very engaged. And I think it's going to take a while to come back. I am confident that it is going to come back because I think what's going to happen is that the PTO leaders that are doing their thing are really going to have to scale back because you can only do so much. You can only stretch yourself so thin. And so all the events that parents are used to having kind of going to go away. And they're going to be like, hey, what happened to all these things? And they're going to realize that the magic fairies that are the PTO people who are currently doing the work do not actually exist, and that it is real people. They're just not magic. It just magically happened. So I think eventually it's going to scale down, but then I think it's going to come back up to what it was before because we want to do fun things for our kids because ultimately that's why we're involved. I know that's why I'm involved. I want to give things to my kids. Last year when I planned after prom with the 2 other parents, it was definitely a joint effort and everybody contributed what they could. But I got to say, it was mostly me. I think I don't know if anybody else would have stepped up, to be quite honest, to pull it off. I definitely went above and beyond. And yes, it did take over my life. And yes, it was such a relief when it was over. But I got to tell you, seeing my son's face and his girlfriend's face at after prom, he actually thanked me and said what a great time they had. For me, that was worth it. So I'm doing it for my kids. You are doing it for your kids and maybe some other people's kids too. But you might not have enough volunteers. So if you're feeling like it's just you and it's God, what is going on? I think that's just where we're at in the world right now. So it sucks for sure. And you definitely, I wouldn't give yourself permission to go, well, everyone's having this problem, so I'm not even going to try. It does not stop me from still trying. You just have to try different techniques. And again, I have other videos and blog posts all about recruiting volunteers because this is a constant issue in some way or another. The second thing is know that, and I'm sure you know this too already, but other people might not know this, that just because you have the title doesn't mean you have the training that comes with it or that the knowledge that you need to have. Sometimes you have to grow into your role. And so that's why it's really important to get resources to help you along the way. And I first noticed there isn't a lot of help out there. If you were a new PTO president, you might be thinking what the actual heck did I sign up for? What did I get myself into? I have no idea what I'm doing. And all of these people are depending on me. I do not want to look like a fool. Well, my friend, that's when you look at the President Success Kit that I have available in my shop. I created it just because of that reason, because I wasn't seeing what I personally needed. And so all the years that I've spent in the different roles, I've created these resources to kind of help so that you're not starting at square one and that you can be a more confident leader. The next thing is that sometimes when you ask your friends to help, maybe a specific role, maybe you beg them to be treasurer, or maybe you beg them to be fundraising chair. And they said, okay, sure, I'll help you out. Maybe they're not best suited for things and maybe they're going to let you down. And that is kind of a hard pill to swallow, I think, when friends don't come through for us in the way that we need them to do. So know that is probably going to happen at some point in your role as a PTO leader or volunteer. The fourth thing, because I cannot count. Again, I've shared this with you before. That's why I went to law school. Cannot do math. Math is not math for me. I am a special snowflake in that regard. The fourth thing is that parents always want more than what they're willing to do. Case in point, this year my high school is actually, the PTO is not able to sponsor an after prom because a whole lot of parents said, oh, absolutely, we want an after prom. And absolutely, yeah, sure, I'll help make that happen. But then when a survey was sent out asking them exactly what they'd be interested in helping out with, they all said no to everything. Again, these people must think that there are magic fairies just working behind the scenes to make it all happen. So I'll tell you, people always want more than they're willing to do. So no, that can be a little defeating. And so this year we just made the call. I was like, it doesn't mean the end of after prom forever. It means no after prom this year because I'm not doing it because it is a lot of work. I'd be doing it for my own kid as well as everybody else, as long as my kid was benefiting from it. But after coming off of last year when it took so much of my time, I'm like, people have to want it for themselves and their own kids. They really do. Like they have to step up at some point. So next year, I know after prom I'll be back because I know the two parents that are my very good friends who want it for their kiddos that are going to be graduating. And the following year, my youngest is going to be graduating, so it'll definitely be happening then. So I told the principal, I go, no after prom this year, but like in future years, it's totally coming back. And she understood because, again, we're at a funky place post-pandemic with parents are just acting a little weird and not quite understanding. Or maybe they have different priorities now than they had in the past. That's okay too, but it's going to mean that things look different for your PTO. The last thing that I want to tell you, and again, I have mentioned this before, but like, I don't know that anybody comes out and says it. Secretaries, administrative assistants, and custodians are your key to success as a PTO leader. If you do not have these fine friends on your side, if you do not ingratiate yourself, if you do not tell them how wonderful they are and thank them for all that they do for you, it's going to be a tough road ahead. So definitely make sure to cozy up to these people and authentically, of course, but you want to definitely be getting them on your side because they are the gatekeepers for so many things. And once you have them on your side, once you are allied with them, then it can make a whole world of difference for you personally and your entire PTO. So I kind of don't have the custodians on speed dial, but I have multiple names and numbers of custodians in my phone so that like if I need anything, like last night I was doing an event and I was like, oh, this room is locked. Can you come like help me out here? And so he ran right over and opened it up and just said, let me know what else you need. And so I texted him later in the afternoon or later in the evening rather, and said, hey, we need a giant trash can in here for all of because it was a dessert reception. And he brought that on the quick too. So it was nice to have that. I didn't have to go chasing him through the very large high school building. That would have been impossible to find out where he was hiding. So instead, I have him in my phone and we text all the time. And it's just very nice. We have that nice relationship and I take care of him with telling him how much I appreciate him, giving him snacks and little surprises and doing all sorts of appreciation things for the entire custodial team. Same with the administrative assistants. I always try and sweeten the pot where I can. And actually our administrative assistant, who's an assistant to the principal, is actually in charge of a couple of different clubs. And I was like, how can we work together? How can I make your life easier? And I said, if you guys want to do the events and PTO pays for them, that'd be groovy because we don't have a lot of volunteers right now, or we're all kind of allocated in our different roles and can't take on anything additional. And her eyes just got real wide and I could see the mouse running on the wheel in her head. And I got her all kind of thinking about things and she got real excited about that. She goes, yeah. And I said, yeah, we have extra money. So think about what you want. Think about what we can do. Like it doesn't have to maybe be for this year. We can talk about it this year, lay that foundation of that relationship and that partnership, but no going forward, like think about what you want to do with those kids that you're not able to do like right now. Like, what do you need money for to improve your club and make it more worthwhile and have everyone get more enjoyment out of it and give back to the school community? Because ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? So I hope that you have enjoyed this like really just honest chit chat one-on-one between you and me about things that normally don't come up in conversation or come up in this way. And I do hope that you will join me for my next video. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at PTOanswers.com.